This explanatory video was made by psychologists in training, Dayana Suarez, Laura Larcón, and Diana Molina. In this video, we are going to talk about significant events in the history of organizational psychology guided by dates. So let's get started. Between 1881 and 1900, Frederick Taylor developed the so-called School of Scientific Administration. This was in charge of increasing the efficiency of the industry through the performance of operative work. He also devised the scientific organization of work. Then, between 1903 and 1908, Frank and Liliana Gilbert investigated the productivity of industrial employees and the economy of production in a company. In addition, they being used tests of mental capacity in the first war called Army Alpha and Army Delta. In 1911 and 1912, Hugo Musterberg published a book called The Psychology of Industrial Efficiency, where organizational psychology is discussed more widely. In 1913, Hugo Musterberg applied the method of William James experimentally in a study related of the workplace. Between 1916 and 1918, Henry Fayol developed the so-called classical theoretic science of administration, as all science is based on laws and principles. From this work, he concluded the following principles: teamwork, labor compensation, and staff stability. In 1920, Elton Mayon conducted an investigation that demonstrated the importance of subjective factors in the effectiveness of workers. This investigation was conducted at the Hartford plant of Western Electric Company. Thus, it was discovered that the socio-psychological condition of the work environment could have much more potential important than the physical condition. Other changes were when they introduced rest, lunch, shorter working hours, and production increased as each one was introduced. In 1940 and 1945, Walter Belvey's negotiation as a strategy to dissolve labor disputes.
1945. In this year, organization psychology, or at that time called industrial psychology, was gaining strength, as well as the extraordinary growth of companies and technology. The advent of the computer, for example, created the need for programmers. Psychologists then had to establish the skills necessary to do this job well. The type of person who possesses them and the optimal methods for selecting and training team. Human relational techniques have become increasingly important as leaders realize the influence that motivation, leadership, and other psychology factors have on job performance. 1950, the author Ernesto Amador talks about the theory of systems. He liked the use of concepts to describe the main factors of different systems. Their search for general laws that facilitate the understanding of any system and the formalization of multidimensional as multidisciplinary. 1955. Should this psychology focus his studies on the leader of the groups in an industry that make people more productive, concluded that emotional intelligence influences the behavior of people in organizations.
In 1960, organizational behavior psychologists were interested in the characteristics of motivation. Importance was given to the informal behavior of people in groups, giving relevance to recreational activities, attitudes, and values, as well as skills and of each of employees. Also, emphasis was placed on staff turnover to reduce monotony. In the 1970s, it changed its name to the Division of Industrial and Organizational Psychology for the APA. The Industrial Psychology Division of the American Psychological Association changed its name to the Division of Industrial and Organizational Psychology in order to incorporate new trends. In 1978, organizational psychology was made official in the Psychologist Appendix. In 1980, with the implementation of the theory of industrial orientation and the position of demanding quality in work process, it has been considered within this psych current to anyone who benefits from the products or service provided by the organization, clients, consumers, users, etc., and those who act as providers of human, economic, materials, or intellectual resources. In 1983, Law 58 of 1983 was enacted, by which psychology is recognized as a profession and its practice is regulated in Colombia. 2003 stipulates for Article 29 of Bill 64 of the same, mandatory professional psychology for companies. The Manual of Industrial and Organizational Psychology is also published. In conclusion, organizational psychology currently plays an important role in organization and in the face of new challenges such as globalization. The proper functioning of employees provides a general well-being in the industry, in addition to representing a fundamental part for the APA and its attempt to dignify work, its environment, and participating agents.